Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, or maybe I should say Iced Coffee and Headlines, our daily get together live here on Facebook, where we examine headlines from places near and far, but mostly places that have to do with Mexico. We take a look at these headlines, we take a look at what's going on around our world, we combine that with a few comments, ideas, and suggestions from you. And we come up with ways in which we can have a more vibrant, more fulfilling, more wonderful life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. And it is Friday today.
Thank God
It is Friday, April 16, and it's the beginning of the weekend. I just jumped out of the shower and I'm feeling all happy to be here. Happy to be here. If you're joining us for the first time, yes, this is a bearded, chubby guy that picks at his face and scratches his beard during the live broadcast. I cannot help myself. If you're new to these broadcasts, we're not as weird as we sound. Just sit back and enjoy your favorite beverage this morning. Feel free to ask questions about anything that might be on your mind. If you ask important questions, please add the letter Q to the beginning of your question, and we'll try our best to answer the questions. I'm sorry, I'm picking at your comments, and you guys are too funny already. If you are new, let us know that you are new by writing the word new in your comments. And now, before we get into who's here and I start asking questions such as, has the penis been kidnapped? I will let you know that today's news are a little bit of a reality check. They have to do with security in our state and other things that we need to be mindful of that don't necessarily affect us directly, but shit happens. But before we go to the news, and then I'm going to show you some other healing news that are important to keep in mind. But first, let's figure out who's here. Raymond, you know, we are going through a bit of pun withdrawal. So kindly pay attention and deliver us a nice pun today, because when was it, yesterday or the day before? We were missing you thinking, where is Raymond with his puns? Good morning, Claude. As always, it's great to see you. Hello, Mushi. How are things going? Are you guys settling into your new home? I certainly hope so. Albert checks in from Los Angeles. Thank you very much. Dan is checking in on his cats. I hope everything turns out okay. Let's see. Joey, we have a coffee date pending. I'm itching to find the time so we can talk about murals in Puerto Vallarta. Several members of the cluster have expressed interest in all the things that are going on in town as far as murals are concerned. Trust me, I have not forgotten about this. Let's see, 4:20 Paco time. I wish I cannot 4:20 this early in the day. I become way too uncoordinated. And I have a lot of work to do today. Let's see. Already squeezed limes or margaritas this afternoon. I love it. Good for you, Michael. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Penis plant has been kidnapped. Actually, Matthew, don't worry. The penis plant is safe and sound. It's now over there. And the reason I've moved it is because I have a photo shoot right after coffee and headlines here. My dear friend Sebastian, who has a new troupe of dancer boys that are doing the rounds in local clubs. They're coming over so that I can do some promotional photo shoots. So it's a nice way to spend your Friday afternoon with your place full of sexy men in their underwear. I'm not going to complain. Um, so I had to put the plant out of the way so that the penis wouldn't be injured. We have to look after our penis, especially under these circumstances. You know, naked men in my house. Jesus Christ. Let's see. 6 days until break out the Paco Taco map, says John. I love it. The Paco Taco map. This is too funny. It is Friday. Hash and headlines. My goodness, that's ambitious. Let's see what else. When they told us not to touch our faces, it drove me crazy because that's all I wanted to do. I hear you, James. I'm always itchy, and I don't know what it is. You know, maybe I'm just an itchy kind of guy. Uh, el uh, El Punadero is back. I love it. Instead of El Panadero, he is now El Punadero. Not bad. Not bad, Raymond, but you've done better than that. You've done better than that. Let's see what else we have. If you need an art director for your shoot, let me know. Wish I was there for the photo shoot. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Do you need an assistant today? Says Julie Levine. I actually don't, but if you're all that curious, maybe I'll set up a camera to do the behind the scenes or something. Anyhow, this is what we do. You know, we do photographs, we do video, we connect you with the destination. And yes, I endeavor most of my time to you, dear cluster, because this is coffee and headlines, and this is my most important gig. But I also have, you know, my dear friend Paul and his swimwear line and his hotel, and the occasional request to photograph indoors or to do portraits and this, that, and the other. So I'm always happy to make a happy buck here and there. And who wouldn't be? It is that time in which we all need to, you know, spread our eye view and consider possibilities that we otherwise would not have considered for making a little bit of money. Money, 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 money. Um, okay, yes, face touching, touch facing. Listen to me. I need to have more iced coffee. I've switched for the remainder of the summer season. It is iced coffee. Let us dive into the news because we have several important things to share. Bam. So yesterday, Mexico President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador informed in his daily press conference that vaccines for teachers in the public and private sector are ready, and that in going ahead with the education sector, return to classes could be possible in some cases or some states even before the summer vacation period begins. Why would they want to send children to school 2 months before summer vacation? Well, parents must be really desperate, and for that matter, children as well and students as well. Our president also took time to report that yesterday, Mexico received 500,000 Sinovac and 487,500 Pfizer doses. And then our Secretary of Health chimed in and confirmed, Jorge Alcocer confirmed that an anticipated 3 million workers in the education sector will be vaccinated beginning with 5 states on April 30. April 20, my bad. As we mentioned yesterday, one of those states is Nayarit, along with Chiapas, Coahuila, Veracruz, and Tamaulipas. And then for the week of April 28 to May 4, teacher vaccination will take place in Jalisco, along with Baja California, Oaxaca, Nuevo León, and Aguascalientes. Now, this means, folks, if you're a teacher and you're in Nayarit, you don't want to be planning any getaways between April 28 and May 4th. And if you are, I'm sorry, between April 20 and the end of the month. And if you are a teacher in the state of Jalisco, you do not want to be planning any getaways between April 28 to May 4th. Because vaccination is going to be taking place. 3 more weeks in May have been set aside for teacher vaccination in the rest of the states in Mexico. And Alcocer also confirmed that vaccination of adults ages 50 to 59 will begin in May, but did not provide information that was specific as to what states or so forth and so on. So hopefully this will happen. This will happen, and more people will get their vaccines, or we will get our vaccines. As we know, I am in that 50 to 59 age range, so I am getting excited about it. Switching gears, SEAPAL, the local water works, has issued a warning regarding water use for this time of year, which is when we've pretty much depleted most of the water resources and are waiting for the rain season to begin. The natural water resources, I mean. According to the company, there's this particular natural source, which is called the Pozo Radial, which translates to the radial. Alexa, ¿cómo se dice pozo en inglés?
Pozo en inglés es manhole.
Manhole. No, these are not manholes. Well, natural sources of water underwater. I have no idea how to say that in English. Anyhow, according to them, there is this one Pozo Radial that handles 30% of Puerto Vallarta's population needs, water needs, including the tourist zone, neighborhoods north of the city, Pitillal, Las Juntas, and a section of Ixtapa. Now, this particular source usually provides up to 600 liters per second of water and is now providing only 132 liters per second. So that is a significant decrease. In addition, weather authorities here in Banderas Bay have indicated that we're going through an unusual dry and warm period that will continue through the rest of April and May, which is when we can expect the first rains of the season. But even those will not be enough to begin replenishing our natural water resources. So the bottom line, my friends, is please use common sense when you're using water, because things might get a little tense between now and the end of May as far as our availability of naturally sourced water. Do we stop for comments? Sure, why not? Let's see. Manhole. Let's see. Everybody wants to see male stripper behind the scenes. I'll see what I can do. You know what happens? I become self-conscious because you get to see the rest of my apartment, and it's dusty, it's filthy. It's like, no, not filthy, but, I don't have everything in order, only the important parts. Who has time to be domestic around here? Let's see. Matthew is frustrated with teaching via Zoom. I don't blame you. Mexico has had a history of video classrooms for rural areas, and that's not being that effective either. That is true. Thank you for that. James and Matthew. James likes a good manhole. I'm going to not comment on that. Reservoir. Thank you, David. Thank you all. I appreciate very much. There you go. Jill got the big, sophisticated one. Reservoir aquifer. Woo! I love it. Well, those we don't have that many of, folks, and we talked about this briefly the other day about how all this overdevelopment that is going to take place, that it has been taking place in Puerto Vallarta, sooner or later is going to do a big number on our water availability. Let us hope that we don't get to a very desperate place. Moving on with the news, this is complicated but real. We announced that Marine control of Puerto Vallarta's police force ended with the resignation of Marine Captain Fernando Viveros. Now we have learned that the new police director is Rigoberto Flores Parra, but Flores Parra used to work for the previous police director, Jorge Misael Lopez, who was dismissed last year due to not passing his trust and control exams and for mishandling the murder of former Jalisco Governor Aristoteles Sandoval. So, is the new police director fit for the job? Well, not according to Anuar Garcia, director of SOS Jalisco, an organization comprised of members of our state's civil society focused on the resolution of justice and security related problems in the states. In an interview, Garcia stated that it is a delicate issue given the fact that there is a considerable amount of pressure in the state from organized crime, which in turn calls for a police director that is truly qualified to handle the task. Do we have such a person? Well, I'm not sure. And will the new director of police, you know, do the job as is expected? We can only hope. And to make the weekend even more colorful, I'd like to remind you that since 1964, the National Registry of Missing or Disappeared Persons is tracking 12,341 missing people in the state of Jalisco, or approximately 216 people per year that go missing or disappear in our state. Um, and the article that I'm showing you right now states that should you have a loved one disappear or go missing, you are better off going viral on social media, as the cases that are pretty much mentioned virally are the ones that are resolved more promptly. How sad is that? I think the article goes on to highlight specific instances that have taken place over the past few years, in which the family members of disappeared people made so much noise online and in social media and other outlets that the authorities had no choice but to resolve these cases. Were they always resolved favorably? Were the people always found alive? Unfortunately, no. So, in short, as much as we'd like to praise our state's government for certain things, such as the handling of the pandemic through strict restrictions, there are other areas of government, particularly those related to security, in which the authorities have failed to deliver. Now, as always, these news are not meant to create panic or to increase your level of worriness. People disappear everywhere. People, unfortunately, die or get killed everywhere. Our city, our state is no exception. But I am actually, in a way, grateful that the media is constantly reminding us of the fact that the government needs to worry about these issues of security so that they actually do that. And that is what it is. Let me take a quick look at your comments and we'll take it from there. We'll move on to our weather forecast. Yeah. Got a great cleaner I can recommend. Is he sexy? I want to know. um, Being domestic is overrated. Thank you. Thank you. I seem to have a lot of manhole lovers in my cluster. Um, what can I tell you? Um, Cleaning the house is so pointless. You get everything sparky, and 6 months later, you have to do it all over again. Luna is shedding, guys. Luna is shedding. So there's like fur dust, fur balls everywhere. So I have to sweep and vacuum constantly now. Um, Oh, this is sad news. This is sad news, Liz. I am sorry to hear that. I know that sooner or later pets go, and I know that if and when, well, when Luna goes, I am going to be absolutely devastated. So I am really, really, really sorry about that. Um, Trucha says, "Rest in peace, Rich," and I. This is related to um, a gentleman, Rich Kaufman, I believe is his last name, who was the victim of a crime not too long ago, and he was I don't know the details of the case, but he had a week-long struggle in the hospital, and unfortunately, he passed away. And this is yet another one of those issues in which security is to be concerned. It's to be concerned about, or lack of security. Let's see what else we have. Mm-mm-mm. House poop in the bay, says Scott. I haven't heard of any more caca particles, so I suppose things are okay. But it was so funny because I think it was one of the English Mexican news sources said something like, had a headline to the effect of somebody's lying about caca in the ocean waters in Puerto Vallarta, because we all think it was really fishy that the federal government said yes, there are caca particles, and 1 week later, no, not even a week, 2 days later, the local authority said no, there's no caca particles here. So what can I tell you? Are we gonna die of swimming in the ocean? Who knows? I say go swim, have a good time, enjoy your life. Um, oh my goodness, our little girl cat is 22 years old, and we are bracing ourselves for the inevitable. Oh my goodness, it is always so sad. It is always so sad when that happens. So, how good it is that we can talk about it here, and I wish everybody to have somebody to talk about when things like this happen. Now, let me switch over to the weather, and then to some words of comfort, and then some words of laughter. Hi, the weather. Yes, it's 26 degrees. It's 26 degrees Celsius. Feels like 26 degrees Celsius. Humidity is low, 25%. Our Fahrenheit temperature is 78%. And our weather forecast for today is clear. I think we said that yesterday. 31 degrees is our high temperature, low temperature 18. Tomorrow, Saturday, another clear day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature 18. And Sunday, another clear day with a high temperature of 30 and a low temperature of 18. I keep waiting to see when we're going to get to 31 or 32. So it's going to get warm again. But again, as I mentioned, we are on iced coffee now, and we'll continue on iced coffee during the remainder of the summer. Oh my God, oh my God. Missing shows, can't get notifications, and time change messes up everything. Hello, Cluster. Hello, Jorge. It's so nice that you can join us. Candace reports on a rescued 2-pound, 1-year-old female Chihuahua today. Will be available for adoption soon. I believe Luna would shred her to pieces. Otherwise, I would volunteer. No, actually, I could never have a dog because I just don't have the discipline and mindset to be walking pets. That's why I've always been a kitty cat guy. Anyhow, oh my God, you guys are getting dirty, and I love it. This means that Sunday Funday is going to be wonderful, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to share something that appeared on my Facebook. A friend of mine shared it, and I think it is very, very timely. And if you have seen it, well, we'll read it again. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to read it out loud, particularly for those friends that follow us on audio only. And this is why I sometimes repeat things on the screen, by the way, because there's a number of members in our cluster that are not watching, rather, they are only listening. Things to remember as lockdown restrictions are eased. Number 1, you are allowed to decline social invites. Number 2, it is okay to feel a bit emotionally unsteady. A bit? Number 3, your body doesn't need to look a certain way. It doesn't. Number 4, it is okay if you do not want to be as busy as you once were. I loved one. Number 5, there is no right way to feel, think, or move forward. And last but not least, number 6, it is okay if your pre-lockdown life no longer serves you. I would actually go ahead and elaborate on that one and say it is okay if your pre-lockdown friends no longer serve you. And that's a tough one because I have found in my own life that certain friends, well, it's not a matter of serving, friends don't serve one another, but the lockdown changes mindset, and the lockdown changes viewpoints, goals, priorities, etc., and it is what it is. So I thought I would share that with you, in case you were curious about that. And last but not least, I want to tell you about a word, and this happened to me. And in fact, let me type it because this is a fascinating word Where is my type the word tool? Right here. I am typing the word. Do, 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 do. And I'm going to add that to my screen and make it big. Empalagoso, which can also be empalagosa. This is a great Spanish word that came up in conversation the other day with some friends, and we realized that there is no proper English translation for it. So we thought, oh, how great that we have a word that doesn't have an equivalent in English. So you're probably thinking, what on earth is empalagoso? Well, let's imagine that you have unlimited access. No, it's not Carol Burnett. I'm just feeling itchy. You have unlimited access to, let's say, Krispy Kreme donuts. Okay? So you start eating Krispy Kreme donuts, and all of a sudden you have had so much sugar that you cannot fathom the idea of eating more sweets. You are empalagado. That is one way to use it. You know, when you've had so many sweets, even if you're a chocolate lover and you've had so many chocolates and you cannot have any more, that's because you are empalagado. If you are offered a sweet that is uh, completely, overwhelmingly sweet, then that sweet is empalagoso. And Jorge nailed it. You know, you may be late, girl, but you got it figured out. Empalagoso also means clingy. You know, a person that is a clinger or a Klingon is a person that just latches onto you, both either physically or emotionally or in whatever way. Or so empalagoso is what that person would be. So, is there a single word in English that can describe these qualities? We couldn't come up with one. So I thought I would share this with you in case you were surrounded by empalagosidad or of one kind or another. Um, Mushi says that's me now with avocado tuna tostadas. Well, here's the thing: it is not mushy because those are not sweet; those are savory. Unless you are having, you know, when we talk about empalagoso, it has to be so fucking sweet. We're talking triple, quadruple chocolate cake sweet plus a shot of condensed milk. I mean, that is empalagoso. It's not the same as eating so much of something like, you know, what you're describing, Mushi, is what happens to me when I go eat tacos al pastor. I mean, I can just stuff my pretty round face with them and till I go like, um, my translation app calls it saccharine, says Mark Dunn. That is wonderful. Um, and Michael says that will be me with Raymond cinnamon rolls. Having so many, I can't take more. Well, yeah, I would watch for those that cholesterol level too, baby. Um, Clingy is a sort of embellishment. I don't understand how clingy would be an embellishment, but I'm curious about that concept. Saturated might be a close word, but does not cover as many topics. I would say that even though Jorge mentioned that empalagoso is used to refer to a clingy person, more often than not in Spanish, empalagoso has to do with something that is so sweet you cannot handle it, or if you've had so many sweets you cannot have any more. So that is my silly slash timely treaty on this particular word that came up in conversation. I hope this word is useful for you in your conversations. Let me take a quick look at Butterfingers. Never, never. You can never have enough Butterfingers, says Paco. I think Butterfingers is my only exception to Empalagoso. Unfortunately, I can have so many of those. It's not even funny. I have a friend like that. When she comes to visit next year, I need to remember those reminders. Can't hang out every day too much and too dependent on us to show her good time. Well, that happens to a lot of us, Michal. When we're busy with life or work or whatever, and we have visitors here in Puerto Vallarta that expect us to drop everything for them, you know, that happens so frequently. And oh my God, we could have a fun Sunday fun day around that issue for those of us that are working, because a lot of times friends that visit us from other cities or other countries think that we have, an excess surplus of time for them, and that may be the case or that may not. Thank you very much for that, Michael. I still have a good amount of Butterfingers in the refrigerator, but it's never enough. Just kidding. Just kidding. Anyhow, I think this is what we have for today. As always, I want to thank you for joining us on this Friday edition of Coffee and Headlines. Tomorrow is Saturday, and the day after that, we have Sunday Fun Day. For those of you that have never been through a Sunday Fun Day, it's all silliness, it's all funniness, it's irreverent, it's dirty, like some of those comments that you had about manholes. I chose to maybe not think about them because manholes are more suitable for Sunday. Well, manholes. Okay, I'm degrading very quickly. I should probably get going. Anyhow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. Thank you for so much for nurturing it. Stay kind. Stay healthy. Stay hungry. Don't get empalagado. Eat your sweets with measure. And last but not least, stay in touch and come back. Hopefully, even tomorrow. Have a great day.